You know that feeling. When the English words are definitely there, you understand everything, but then when it's your turn to speak, it feels like, I don't know, like something's holding you back.
Oh, absolutely. Or maybe your thoughts are just racing ahead in your own language and trying to translate everything in real time just, well, it trips you up.
Exactly. That disconnect. And that's really what we're diving into today. We came across this really interesting discussion on YouTube.
Right. From Easy English Talk.
Yeah, that's the one. Think smart, speak fluent. And it really clicked.
It's such a key idea, isn't it? That fluency isn't just about vocabulary lists and grammar rules. It's like deeply connected to how we actually think.
Mm. So for you listening, our kind of mission here is to unpack that, how getting your thoughts clear, maybe even starting to think in English, could really unlock more confident, natural speaking.
Yeah, how to sort of streamline that whole internal process so the thoughts flow out more smoothly.
And the big thing that jumped out from Jason and Julia over at Easy English Talk was this point. Vocabulary and grammar, they matter, of course, but real fluency, it fundamentally links back to your thinking.
It really does. Let's dig into that connection first. They made a really strong case that, clearer thoughts naturally lead to clearer speech.
They did.
hmm
And they had this great analogy, didn't they, about the brain being like a highway,
Oh, yeah, the highway analogy.
right? Where if your thoughts are organized, the words just flow like cars on an open road.
Smooth sailing.
But if you're busy translating in your head or feeling unsure,
Instant traffic jam. Yeah. It's a very relatable image, I think.
it really is. And a big cause of that jam, as they pointed out, is that super common habit for learners thinking first in your native language.
And then doing that mental gymnastics to translate it all into English.
It just adds this whole extra step, doesn't it? It's
Yeah.
like trying to build a bridge every single time you want to say something.
Right. It sounds exhausting. And, well, it kind of is. It slows you down, for one. Yeah. And as Jason and Julia mentioned, it can sometimes lead to sentences that sound a bit clunky or maybe unnatural to a native speaker.
Okay, so the big goal then, the shift they're talking about, is actually training your brain
hmm
to, well, think in English directly.
That's the idea.
But how? I mean, if you've thought in another language your whole life, where do you even, like, start with that?
Well, they laid out some pretty compelling benefits first. Why bother making that shift, right?
Okay.
And the most obvious one is just saving time. You cut out that whole translation step.
Right, no more mental dictionary lookup while someone's waiting for you to speak.
Exactly. And secondly, it lets you be more, present in the conversation. You're not so focused on finding the perfect word.
You're focusing on the actual interaction, the meaning.
Yeah, which naturally makes speaking feel less like a test and more like, well, talking to someone.
That makes sense.
And maybe the biggest thing is confidence. When you're not constantly second guessing the translation, you start to feel a stronger connection to English itself.
Right, like you're operating inside the language, not just looking at it from the outside.
Precisely. And, over time, doing this thinking in English just naturally builds those connections between words and ideas. Fluency improves almost organically.
Building that mental framework piece by piece in English.
Yeah.
But they also said something important.
Yeah.
You don't have to be perfect right away.
Oh, absolutely not. That was key. They really stressed starting small, super small.
Like what?
Like just naming things around you. You see your coffee.
And you think, coffee is hot coffee, I like coffee, something like that.
Exactly that. Just those simple, everyday observations. It's about laying down those initial tracks, getting your brain used to processing even basic stuff directly in English.
Okay, so we get the why. Clearer thinking in English helps. But the how? What were their practical tips for actually doing that, for thinking smarter?
Right, the practical stuff. So first tip, as we just touched on, start with those really simple English thoughts.
The coffee example.
Yeah,
They said that helps build confidence, right? Because it feels achievable.
definitely. Less intimidating. Second tip, connect words to visuals or feelings.
Ooh, I like this one. Moving beyond just memorizing definitions.
Exactly. So for a word like, say, happy, instead of just the definition, you actively picture a happy memory or feel that emotion.
It makes the words stick better, I imagine. More personal.
Creates a much stronger, more personal link.
Yeah.
It's like building your own internal picture dictionary.
Nice. What was next?
Third tip, try narrating your day silently to yourself in English.
Oh, okay. Like an inner monologue.
Kind of. Simple things like, okay, I'm walking to the kitchen now, I'm opening the fridge, stuff like that.
Ah. So you're practicing thinking in English during totally normal activities. No pressure.
Exactly. Zero pressure.
Yeah.
Then tip 4 was about mindful listening.
Not just understanding, but really listening.
Right. Paying attention to how fluent speakers actually talk. Their word choices, sure, but also their rhythm, their tone, where they pause naturally.
Kind of absorbing the flow of it.
Yeah, exactly. And they suggested actually repeating bits you hear. Maybe silently, maybe quietly aloud, like little mini practices.
Like echoing them.
Hmm.
Getting your mouth and brain used to the patterns.
Mm-hmm. Then, tip 5. Ask yourself questions in English.
Okay, like what sort of questions?
Simple stuff again. What do I need to get done today? Or reflecting, what did I enjoy about that movie?
Ah, so you're forcing your brain to actually formulate thoughts and answers in English, even if it's just internal.
Exactly. It's active engagement. And the last tip for thinking smarter was about practicing with a purpose.
Practicing with purpose. What do they mean by that?
It means like deciding on a specific focus for the day. Maybe you decide, okay, today I'm going to consciously think about describing people's appearances.
Oh, I see. So you actively look for opportunities during the day to think about that topic in English.
Right. It gives your brain a clear task, helps keep things organized around a theme.
That makes a lot of sense. Focus helps clarity.
Exactly. Which brings us back to the main point. Clear thoughts, smoother speaking.
Okay, so those are great tips for the thinking side. What about the speaking itself? What were their strategies for actually improving fluency, for getting the words out more smoothly?
Well, first off, they tackled a really common misconception, that fluency means speaking super, super fast.
Oh, yeah, definitely. People picture fluent speakers just like rattling things off without a pause.
Right. But Jason and Julia pointed out true fluency is much more about clarity and naturalness. Speaking smoothly, confidently, not necessarily quickly.
That's actually
Yeah.
quite reassuring, I think. Takes the pressure off being a speed talker.
Totally. And a key strategy for that natural smoothness is actually using pauses. Natural pauses.
So not seeing pause as failure, but as a tool.
Exactly. Giving yourself that split second to organize your next thought, it makes you easier to understand too.
Good point.
Another big one. Stop trying to translate in your head while you're talking.
Okay, that sounds challenging,
Right.
but crucial based on what we said earlier.
It is tough, but vital. The more you can skip that translation step, the more fluid you'll sound. And if you get stuck on a word,
Yeah.
don't panic. Use simpler words you do know. Describe the idea. Use a gesture even. Communication is the goal, not perfection.
Right, get the message across somehow.
Exactly. And
Yeah.
linked to that, they advised starting with simpler sentences.
Basic structures first.
Yeah. Instead of aiming for, like, I was unequivocally delighted by the cinematic presentation, maybe just start with, I really enjoyed the movie.
Build the foundation first. They use that house analogy, right? Strong foundation needed.
Exactly. Then you gradually add complexity as you get more comfortable. Another key thing, practice speaking every day.
Even just a little bit.
Even just for a few minutes. Talk to yourself, describe what you're doing, read something aloud. It might feel weird at first.
It gets the muscles working, literally and figuratively.
Exactly. And they mentioned shadowing again here too.
Listening and immediately copying.
Yeah. Mimicking the sounds, the rhythm, the intonation. It's really powerful for training your ear and your mouth.
Like learning a song by ear.
Kind of, yeah.
Yeah.
And a really, really important mindset point. Embrace your mistakes.
Don't beat yourself up about them.
Please don't. They emphasized mistakes are normal, they're necessary, they're how you learn. See them as feedback.
Learning opportunities, not failures.
Absolutely. And another practical tip, record yourself speaking.
Ooh, the dreaded recording.
Yeah, it can feel a bit strange listening back, but it's so useful. You notice things about your pronunciation, your pace.
Things you might not realize why you're actually speaking.
Right. And you can track your progress, too, which is super motivating.
Yeah, seeing improvement over time.
Definitely. And finally, celebrate the small wins.
Acknowledge the progress, however small.
Yes. Managed to use a new phrase, had a short conversation, pat yourself on the back. Fluency is a journey, remember. Every step counts.
It's not an overnight thing. It's consistent effort.
Precisely. So, to recap those speaking strategies, use pauses, ditch the head translation, start simple, practice daily, try shadowing, embrace mistakes, record yourself, and celebrate those wins.
Loads of great practical stuff there. Now, didn't they end with a kind of challenge for people?
They did. A fun little 1-minute speaking challenge designed to get you practicing both thinking and speaking in English.
Okay, a challenge. How does it work?
Okay, so first, You pick a really simple topic, like your daily routine, your favorite food, a film you saw, something easy.
Got it. Simple topic.
Then you set a timer for just 1 minute. And the goal is to just speak continuously in English about that topic. For the whole minute, don't stop.
Whoa, okay. Just keep talking, even if you stumble or repeat yourself.
Exactly. They specifically said, don't worry about mistakes. Don't worry about perfect sentences. If you get stuck, use a filler like, let me see. Or even just repeat your last bit while you think. Start simple.
That takes the pressure off quite a bit. It's about flow, not perfection.
Totally. And the pro tip was record yourself doing it.
Ah, so you can listen back afterwards.
Yeah. See where you maybe paused a lot, or if your pronunciation needs work on certain sounds, just for your own feedback.
That's a really neat concrete exercise.
It is. And they really stressed just acknowledging the effort, speaking for a whole minute without stopping in English. That's a win right there.
So for you listening, there's your challenge. Pick a topic, 1 minute on the clock, just talk, keep the English flowing, maybe hit record, see what happens.
And remember, consistency is key. Doing this regularly is way more effective than one big stressful session. They also mentioned sharing experiences in their video comments, which could be cool too.
Definitely connect with other learners. It's all about putting these ideas into action, right? Taking those steps.
So wrapping this up, what are the main things we've pulled from this deep dive into Think Smart, Speak Fluent?
Well, for me, it's definitely that strong link between thinking clearly and speaking smoothly, and the real benefit of trying, even in small ways, to think in English.
Yeah, bypassing that translation step.
Right. And then all those practical strategies,
Yes.
pausing, keeping it simple, sometimes daily practice, it all adds up.
And remembering it is a process, like Jason and Julia said. It takes time, consistent effort, and crucially, a positive mindset. Don't get discouraged.
Absolutely. Every little bit helps. Thinking one thought in English, practicing for 1 minute, it's all building that skill, opening doors.
So maybe a final thought for you to take away, just reflect on today. Was there a moment maybe when you were cooking or waiting for the bus or just walking somewhere, a moment where you could have consciously tried to think a simple thought in English?
Instead of your native language.
Yeah,
Yeah.
just for a second. What difference might that tiny shift inside your head have made, even just for your own understanding or how you felt about expressing yourself? Something to ponder.